Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we're cracking open what is easily one of the most defining technological conflicts of our time: Scarlett Johansson versus OpenAI. Now, this isn't just some standard Hollywood dispute, right? It's the absolute battleground for synthetic actor likeness rights and the very boundaries of voice cloning. We're going to open up this classified legal dossier, so to speak, and decode the exact legal and technical strategies at play here. Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is our investigation overview for today. We'll kick things off with the secret settlement. Then, we'll examine the actual tech flaws in glitches in the system and anatomy of a clone. After that, we'll look at the legal frameworks in The Law Fights Back and wrap up with how all of this is reshaping digital IP.
Section 1. The Secret Settlement.
So right at the heart of this whole thing is a super high-stakes collision over synthetic actor likeness rights and the alleged unauthorized deployment of a voice clone. A generative AI model utilized a voice that sounded remarkably similar to Scarlett Johansson's, and well, the pushback was immediate. This is a massive watershed moment. It's the point where artificial intelligence companies realize that human biometric data isn't just some free-for-all scraping ground. It literally forces a massive reset in how developers are allowed to source and utilize human voices. Now, to really grasp the stakes here, we've got to understand something called rights of publicity. This is the core legal shield that controls the commercial use of your identity. Historically, this just meant you couldn't slap somebody's name or face on a billboard without paying them. But today, it crucially includes synthetic actor likenesses and specific voice parameters. If an AI model replicates the distinct, breathy textures of a celebrity's voice without a formal agreement, it triggers a direct violation of these publicity rights. The legal exposure here is just absolutely massive. Section 2. Glitches in the system. Even the absolute most advanced synthetic voice copies out there aren't perfect, and the telemetry completely proves it. When engineers run a cloned voice through an audio spectrum analyzer, they're looking for a first piece of technical evidence called spectral leakage. This shows up as these sharp, unnatural frequency spikes and a very distinct metallic resonance. Think of it kind of like auto-tune glitching out on a high note or a poorly compressed JPEG, but for sound. When algorithms try to recreate the incredibly complex harmonic layers of human speech, they often exceed their synthetic frequency limits, leaving behind this telltale robotic fingerprint. And this brilliantly illustrates the problem. When you compress organic human speech, you destroy vital vocal details. A natural sound wave is rich, it's high resolution, and full of organic texture. But if you push that audio through poor data compression parameters, you get this pixelated, blurry synthetic output. That severe drop in signal resolution completely ruins the clone's authenticity. High audio compression essentially hides or just outright destroys the subtle microexpressions in a voice, causing generation errors that forensic experts can easily catch. Section 3. Anatomy of a clone. Because making a convincing clone, it isn't just about nailing the tone. It is heavily about timing. When you pit a natural human cadence against a synthetic output, the artificial waveform almost always lags. It's noticeably mismatched. This synchronization lag, which we call model drift, it breaks the illusion entirely. Real-time waveform mismatches totally undermine the performance metrics of the synthetic audio, because the pacing and the breath patterns drift way too far away from natural human rhythm. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how these vulnerabilities stack up into a definitive forensic evidence log. It's like a giant puzzle. Spectral leakage gives away a metallic resonance and unnatural spikes. Latency triggers that synchronization lag we just talked about, resulting in model drift. And resolution loss creates a pixelated audio mesh where the subtle vocal texture details are just completely destroyed. These aren't just minor software bugs, right? These are the specific algorithmic failures that forensic audio specialists actively hunt for to conclusively prove a voice is a synthetic copy.
Section 4. The Law Fights Back.
Because the market and the legal systems, they are definitely not sitting still. We are tracking 3 major countermeasures right now. First, we're seeing increasing state and federal regulations, like the Elvis Act down in Tennessee, that are specifically targeting synthetic voice clones. Second, corporate AI policies are fundamentally shifting, now requiring formal talent release licensing before a model is even trained. And third, there's a huge new focus on watermark technologies to lock down authentic actor voice origins. Looking at this impartially, the legal exposure here is genuinely severe. Storing unlicensed celebrity biometric parameters on public clouds creates immense vulnerability under federal copyright frameworks. Ingesting unauthorized voice parameters isn't just a PR nightmare, it's a direct trigger for likeness theft alarms across legal databases everywhere. The unauthorized taking of these biometric metrics is a clear, undeniable violation of digital intellectual property rights.
Section 5. Reshaping Digital IP.
So, as we look to the future of AI, it really all boils down to this one fundamental question. How do you prove a voice is real? Seriously, think about it. In a digital landscape where algorithms can mimic cadence, tone, and inflection with staggering accuracy, how does an actor, a creator, or honestly just an everyday citizen prove that a recording is actually them? Or conversely, how do they prove that it isn't?
Well, digital watermark technologies are emerging as the vital technological countermeasure here. By embedding invisible, trackable cryptographic signatures directly into authentic audio files, we can conclusively prove authentic actor voice origins. And what's incredible about these modern watermarks is their resilience. They can often survive intense audio compression, background noise, and even super aggressive editing. This tech is actively reshaping global intellectual property frameworks, providing the concrete proof required by rights of publicity laws to finally differentiate between a human and a clone.
Storing unlicensed biometric parameters on public clouds changes the future of identity. The Scarlett Johansson case study isn't just some isolated Hollywood dispute, it's a preview of the ongoing battle over our absolute most personal data. As synthetic likeness disputes permanently alter the boundaries of our digital identities, we are left to wonder, if our voice can be cloned, compressed, and deployed without our consent, who really owns our digital selves? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope it gave you a crystal clear view into the mechanics and the law of voice AI. Catch you next time.